been anyone. You stole my heart like a thief on the run. You're not much for taking chances, but you're taking a chance on me. And now we're building bridges as far as the eye can see.
These are the materials that I will be using.
I never thought I'd find anything close to all that I knew you would be. Ain't it beautiful? Darling, beautiful. With you here next to me.
This is a green cardstock paper. It's a medium green. This is a light green cardstock paper. This is a brown cardstock paper and a light brown cardstock paper. This is my adhesive tape. I have already cut out pieces of material that I will be using on my card. This tie is for the women, and I might put a heart on one of my cards. This is a tie for a man. I will show you how I cut this out and how I cut the one out for the women. This is the paper that I will be putting my materials on. This is a card, and I'll show you what I would be doing with this card because I'm going to attach this card onto one of these cards over here. This is another card, but what I did, I drew a picture on here, I don't know if you can see it, of a helmet. That's a picture of a helmet. I don't know if you can see it, but that's what that is. I'll show you what I'm going to do with that. This is a tape that I will lay down on the red cardstock paper because I will be lining up my stars. These are the stars, the little bitty stars. I don't know if you can see it, but these are little bitty stars, and I will be putting this on the red cardstock paper. This is the glue that I will be using, and I'll be using the adhesive tape as well to give it a 3D shape. A 3D form or look. I'll be using a number 2 pencil. This is my tweezer. I was telling you about it in the last video. I will be using this tweezer to pick up the little hearts and the stars. They're so tiny. This is the hole puncher that I use to make my stars. It's a hole puncher as well for me to make the heart. I use a ruler to measure the red paper, and it's a 1/2 inch across, and then it is 6.5 inches long. So I will cut a little piece off here to tape it down to this card. This is the pair of scissors I'll be using. I'll be using the blue cardstock paper, the white cardstock paper, and the red cardstock paper. I don't know if you can see these colors, but these are the colors I'll be using, and these are the materials that I will be using. And here are two individual cards that I will be working on. Okay, now I am getting ready to measure the card to let you know what size I'm using. Let's see. This is 4.5 inches by 6 inches. I'm going to show you. I fold the paper in half. Fold it in half. I have my number 2 pencil. And this is what I did. You probably won't be able to see it, but I'm going to draw a picture. Come over just a little bit. And I go down just a little bit. Then I go out. And then I go down. I try to keep my drawings the same size. It will be uneven on this other side. So that's why I fold the paper so I can get an even size. Now, I'm going to cut it out. This is how I made my tie. Or this is how I cut out my tie. And if you want to trace it, instead of using a tie that is bent, you can also trace it. Let me give you an example. White piece of paper, put it right here, so that way you can see me trace the tie. I'm trying to keep the tie even. Hopefully you can see that. I'm trying to keep the tie even. See, on both sides, they're even. That's why I fold my paper in half, so I can get it even. Remember earlier in the video, I measured my red strip of paper? Because what I did a 1/2 inch. I did a 1/2 inch, and then across it was 6.5. 6.5 inches. Now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna glue this on top of my cardstock paper. Place it up to the very top. Make sure you get it even. I'll start at the top. I'll take my next paper and glue it at the bottom. Now I will be placing my strip of paper in between the top and the bottom. I want to make sure it's even. that it turns out right. As you can tell, I have placed red strips down for my flag. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 red strips on the flag, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 strips of white. For the blue, I will use my tie. I will use the tie. And that would be for the men. This tie will be for the men, and the other one will be for the women. Now we'll cut the excess paper off. This is sticking to my paper. This is the way it should look. I know I have glue on my paper, but that's okay. We're going to work it out. I didn't want my tie to be bent in half like this. So what I did, I kept the paper that I cut the tie out. Well, I said I kept the paper. Doesn't look like I did. Okay, I hope you can see what I'm doing. What I did, I took my ruler, I lined my stars up. As you can see, I lined my stars up, and I put the stars right on top of the blue tape. I was trying to keep it even, as you can tell.
Life is a battlefield headed for the sky. Wonder how
I did exactly that. And then I'm going to put some glue on the back of my star, just a little bit, just a dab. And I'm going to place it underneath here to try to get it even. See what I did? I just placed the star on top of the blue tape and trying to keep it even. That's what I did. I'm going to line it back up. Hopefully it's still even. Yes, it is. I'm going to slide over just maybe a hair. I want to make sure that it's lined up straight. A lot of time, things not always even. So that's how I'm going to do it. Use my ruler to try to line up my stars. I have already placed all my stars down. So now what I'm going to do is take the last 2 stars and place it on the ties. I'm going to put a star here in the center. This one is 49 stars. I'm going to place my last star down on the men's tie. that would make 50 stars. I know you can't count all of them because some of them are hidden underneath the tie. Like right here, there's a tie. I mean, right here's a star. Star right here. There's one underneath here and one underneath here. And here's a star right here. But if you were to count them, there would be 50 stars. I'm going to place the last star. I'm going to try to take the tape, the blue tape, off of my paper, off my card. I noticed earlier that some of the red cardstock paper was coming off, so I don't want to ruin it. Hopefully it'll come off without the red cardboard paper coming off. So let's try it. So I'm going to try to get the rest of this off of here without ripping or tearing up the red cardstock paper. If it comes off, that's okay. There we go. That's one. Looking pretty good so far. And then what I'm going to do, after I finish taking all the blue tape off, I'm going to put the glossy accent on the stars. And the stars will have a shiny look to them. I'm going to do that.
Is this all that you dreamed it'd be? Ending up here